maybe the greatest of all time, just retired, Mr. Bud Crawford. Now, could be a lot of reasons why he retired. Um, he just had that spat with what was that WBC, I think. They wanted him to pay like $300,000 in fines. De La Hoya came out and said something too, and all this other nonsense that was going around. And Bud said, I ain't paying you shit. I don't got to pay for the other stuff like that. So why should I pay y'all all this money? Because I think it changed. Like it went up like 300. Like it went up something crazy. I think um, for whatever reason
Right.
that it did it went up something crazy. So why this picture ain't down on? So he just said, "All right, I'm not paying y'all." They stripped his belt, and now he's retired. Um, so at this moment, he retires with a perfect record,
Mhm.
42-0. Here we go. Here's the picture. It took a long time. There we go. Let's see. 42-0. Um, five division champ, I think it was. What else was it? Um, super middleweight champion, um, welterweight champion. Um, I mean, the list goes on and on. And he fought the best people in his era.
Sure did.
Concluding with probably the biggest fight since Canelo versus Mayweather and Canelo versus Crawford, and won it convincingly. Where do you think Crawford ranks in terms of all time greats? Um, and I know people say who was he running? I think running from Haney. I think it was. People say he was running from Haney, if I'm not mistaken. Running from who was the other guy? I think he was running from somebody else. Um, but I think Haney was the big name that they were saying that should be next to fight him. And to Crawford's point, like who was Haney compared
Mhm.
to him? You know what I mean? Especially like he ain't no Canelo. So, that fight ain't no money at this point. So where you feel that, he ranks, in terms of, all time greats from Omaha
I mean, shit, pound for pound, number one of all time. You know what I'm
of
saying?
all
Like,
time.
well, no, not. I mean, we're going back to like Muhammad Ali. Obviously, I think Muhammad is the best fighter of all time. All right,
Oh,
so
okay.
I think Ali is the best fighter ever.
Okay.
Um, I think you give Mayweather, his era. I think he goes behind. Obviously, there's going to be, you know, a lot of issues that come behind Mayweather, but nobody done it like he did it,
Yeah.
which promoted boxing, changed the way boxing was looked at, especially in the era since heavyweights kind of was starting to diminish. He kind of put the boxing on his shoulders and led that charge. So I give Mayweather that, and then comes Bud. Bud is right there. I mean, it's hard to say of all time, like who's because everybody had their own era and they were carrying different weight. You get what I'm saying? Like Muhammad was carrying a different weight during his time. Not only being one of the greatest boxers of all time, but his charismatic, the personality, how he won fights, building the boxing, making it what it is now, and bringing culture to boxing. So I put him there. Then you have Mayweather, after like you had your Mike Tyson and your era, the Mike Tyson era, and I got Mike. I mean, it's tough to put Mike not out there being one of the greatest heavyweights of all time.
Yeah,
Um,
I don't put. I mean, he was, in his prime.
mhm.
But you know, people say this and they say the same thing about not Lennox. When Wilder was kind of having his run as heavyweight champion, is that Mike didn't really face nobody. You know
Yeah,
what I mean? And then when Mike lost, I mean, and Mike lost to all legit Hall of Fame fighters. He never really beat any. But who's the bull? The Britain
well,
bull? Was that Bruno or Bruce or whatever his name was? The
Riddick Bowe.
the No, he never beat Riddick Bowe. the bull when he became champion, it was a British bull that he beat. He was a
Oh
champion
yes, I
from
can't think of his name right
I
now.
think I think it was like Bruce or Bruno or something like that.
Mm,
I forget. I can
it's
find
something
out.
to me.
Um,
But I
but
mean, either way, I'm just saying. I think Bud. Back to what you were asking me. I mean, you look at that picture. I mean, it's pound for pound, multiple weight classes. You don't get no better than Bud. And he did it the right way, flawless, technical, power.
yep.
For all the best in his era, right? So, like he said in his quote when he lost, he's "I'm walking away as a great with nothing left to prove." So there is nothing else he needs to do in this game. He also said, and I quote, let me just go find it really quickly. Every fighter know that this moment will come. Um, this moment for him has came. He said, I'm stepping away from competition, not because I'm done fighting, but because I've won a different kind of battle. He said, the one where you walk away on your own terms. And who wouldn't want to walk away on top? Especially in a career or a profession as in boxing, when most folks that do walk away from boxing, they don't walk away from boxing as they walked in, right? With
Hmm.
all their, mental capacity. You know what I mean? Like you have a lot of, trauma that comes from the boxing game. And you can see Crawford still seems to be very alert, very sharp, and can now ride off in the sunset. So I do put him number 3 all time. And if I'm missing somebody, just somebody in the comments let me know. But for me, it's Ali, Mayweather, and Bud.
Yeah, it was Bruno. That
It
was
was
the
Bruno.
Bruno. Yeah, it was Frank Bruno. That was the
Yes,
bull.
Frank Bruno. Yes,
Yeah,
yes, yes,
Frank
yes.
Bruno. Um, so yeah, I have Ali in a different category, just because of his cultural impact,
Hmm.
right? And what he meant to the world. Like you could argue his what he meant to the world outside of boxing was different, was greater than what he did in the ring. It just people he just had the spotlight because he was in the ring. I do think Mayweather's the greatest fighter of all time. That's just my opinion. Kind of similar to Crawford, just unblemished, untouched. Changed the betting. I mean, changed the purse world and changed the way how you should set up how to get money in boxing. And never seen anything like him offensively, defensively. And he faced every great fighter in his era at every level. Similar again, similar to Bud, but I think Mayweather probably faced a little bit more. He's probably faced more Hall of Famers and all
Hmm.
time greats than Bud did. But to your point, flawless and walked away on his own terms. So yeah, I think it's just a salute, right? Putting Omaha, Nebraska on a goddamn map, right? Too representing where he came from and never shied away from that.
Hmm.
And I mean, if you just look at this picture here, just a testament of greatness.
Can we pause one more time though? You said you think the weight of Muhammad was more outside the ring than in the ring? Like where do you put Muhammad?
I think his impact culturally was bigger
Sure.
than what he did in the ring. I do.
So where do you put him in the ring?
Um, greatest like just greatest fighters of all time. I got Mayweather. I think Bud is two. Yeah, I do.
why,
We just talking
why,
about we're just talking about fighters. We're just talking about fighting
yeah,
in the
but I
ring.
mean, but we got to also think about the era though. Like we, and I think to be honest with us, like I know we haven't. I'm happy we're back on this conversation, back on the show
Yeah.
because we can just bullshit talk. But catching up Charlie horse. Hold on.
Oh.
Oh, oh, hold on. Oh,
Let me get you up here.
oh, ooh. Mm.
I had to
That
zoom
was
in real quick.
bad.
What's going on with that boy?
Let me drink some of this water.
But yeah, no, I mean when we look at
Woo,
I mean who
shit.
who Muhammad Ali fought, right?
What do you mean? He fought some of the best. Sonny Liston. George Foreman, and they was like, oh, they were like some of the best in that era. But you gotta understand, like too, like those guys fought, like, and they fought. Like we can go all the way back to like we can go like this Sonny Liston. We can go to Joe Louis. I mean, like those guys are fighting fights like weekly, day in and day out. You know what I'm saying? Like
Yeah.
Ray Robinson, like he had what, almost damn near 200 fights. So
Yeah, I mean, because he fought Fraser what 3 times or 4, 3 or 2? It was
they
three.
had 3 times, yeah, 3 times.
Yeah, he fought him 3 times and he won both twice, right, and lost the one. If
Sorry,
I'm not
this tournament
mistaken.
is crazy. Right in Miami. He fought Frazier twice. Fought Frazier twice. He fought Sonny Liston twice, Floyd Patterson twice, Ken Norton twice, George Foreman and Leon Spinks.
He must have fought Spinks late though, right?
Yeah, late. That was late.
Yeah, yeah. And the reason why, because like Ali fell off, at the end, right? He got
Sure.
old, you know what I'm saying, and he started taking fights and he had bad losses when he got older. You know what I mean? These cats didn't have that. You know what I mean? But I get the error. You know what I mean? They went 15 rounds. And
Yeah.
you know what I mean? 15 rounds,
Heavyweight fights.
heavyweight fights. Yeah. It was a different type of tough. So I
I'm here.
get yeah, I know.
I gotta stand
Um
up. It's so
I
crazy.
I
Jeez.
get that, but yeah, I mean Ali's gonna be in everybody's top 3 or top 5 for sure. You know what I mean? The question is just do you have him won? And I just don't. You know what I mean? I think it's Mayweather. You know what I mean?
Okay.
That's just that's me. And it's hard to say how is it not Bud. Just from a boxing standpoint, nobody's ever going to touch what Ali did culturally and what he
hmm
meant to black culture and the black world then, now, and in the future. You know,
hmm
that's never going to change. He is synonymous in time as a fixed figure. Um that will never be erased. So, yeah, no, this is where I have Ali. You know what I mean?
Okay.